When I was studying in Germany, I would openly profess my feelings, thinking the handsome German guy couldn't understand Chinese. Today I like you, tomorrow I'm into you. The day after that, I flew back home. I heard the guy looked for me all over Europe. We reunited at my professor's house. The handsome guy turned out to be my professor's son, a German-Chinese mix who'd been bilingual since childhood. He looked at me with a teasing smile. Long time no see, do you still like me? That year studying in Germany was one of the most unforgettable 5 years in my life. Thankfully, there was a handsome guy in my class, which kept me motivated despite the academic pressure. We were in the same group, and joking with him was my only relief from the grueling group assignments. Like today, I opened my hand to him, all mysteriously, did you know? I can read your palm and predict your future. The guy trusted me completely and held out his hand. I asked him, what do you want to know? He glanced at me and looked away, a bit shy. I want to know who my future love is. I pretended to read his palm and then playfully interlocked our fingers, far away yet right in front of you. Even though he didn't understand Chinese, his face turned red. He gently shook my hand and asked in German, what does that mean? I smiled, answering in Chinese, it means I like you. After class, he walked with me. I knew his apartment was in the opposite direction, so I asked, curious, aren't you going home? He rubbed his nose, the neighborhood hasn't been very safe these days, can I walk you home? I had heard about some incidents a few days ago too. Alright, thank you. To show my gratitude, how about some spicy noodles at my place later? His eyes lit up, spicy noodles. Delicious. Germans don't usually show up empty-handed when visiting someone, so he insisted on buying some desserts from the store near my home. This new bread looks interesting, should we try it? I took a look, wow, baguette with smoked fish. As he marveled at it, I affectionately patted his head, sweetie, looks like you haven't had the good stuff. He paused, trying to translate what I said. I quickly switched to German, Arnold, ich schläg vor. Sie essen mehr Chinesisch Kusch. Mike slowly nodded, for some reason a bit flushed. The sun was strong these days, and with all their foreign allergies, I almost thought he was sunburned. I hurriedly shaded his cheeks with my hands, worried, Mike, are you feeling okay? His brown eyes gazed at me, bright and clear, like a puppy's. After a few seconds, he held my hand, pressing his face against it, a little hot, can you cool me down? Once Mike reassured me multiple times it wasn't an allergy, I finally took him home. Seeing that he was fine and not swollen like a balloon, I relaxed a bit and handed him a box of ice cream from the fridge. This is even colder, put it on your face. He reluctantly let go of my hand, all right. Spicy noodles just need to be boiled, but worried he might not fill up, I opened the fridge. I also made some strawberry jam you could. Shit. The refrigerator's top compartment was a mess, my jam jar had somehow exploded, splattering red jam everywhere. Clara. Mike stopped me from wiping the fridge with my hand, it's dangerous, you could get cut. Come over here. It was just a few shards of glass, but his serious expression had me nodding, all right, I'm coming. Unexpectedly, Mike took my hand and pulled me out of the room, calling the police on the way. What's going on? I was baffled. Mike mimicked how I had patted his head earlier, awkward, but earnest, trying to comfort me. There are bullet holes inside the fridge. I was stunned. What? Turns out, not only were there bullet holes, but bullets too. The police quickly traced them back to the source. My neighbor had taken his own life. The bullet passed through his head, then our thin wall, the back of my fridge, finally hitting my innocent jam jar. By the time the body was carried away, it was already late. Back in the apartment, I touched the bullet holes on the fridge, worried, the landlord won't make me pay for this, right? Mike seemed helpless, no, it's all covered by insurance. And Clara, shouldn't you be worried about your safety? I'm not worried, after all, I'm flying back home the day after tomorrow. Thinking of this, I couldn't hold back a chuckle. Mike looked at me confused. What are you laughing at? I beamed a big smile at him, making up on the spot. I spent the whole day with you today, and it made me really happy. Mike blushed, stammering softly, to truly say a whole day, it would include the night too. German sticklers. I internally scoffed but shook my head in mock regret. That's too bad then. Mike was silent for a moment, then gently took my hand and carefully asked, perhaps you want me to stay to protect you? I really didn't expect things to progress to this point. At night, I sat on the bed while Mike lay on the floor below. You. What is it? Lying with his pillow, he looked up at me, his eyes bright like a puppy's in the warm light. I hesitated. Actually, you could sleep on the small sofa outside. The floor must be uncomfortable. Mike shook his head. If you wake up scared in the middle of the night, I can know right away. I really wanted to tell him he was overthinking it. How could I fear anything when I can eat dinner to crime documentaries? But, unexpectedly, I did wake up in the middle of the night. Of course, not from nightmares, but from some noise at the door. Half asleep, I got up and forgot Mike was below. I stepped right on him, heard a groan and woke up startled, quickly switching on the light. Are you okay? Mike was holding his stomach, looking a bit in pain. I panicked, kneeling beside him, carefully rubbing his belly. I'm so sorry, should we go to the hospital? I kept massaging, and the redder his face got, the more he bent over. By the end, he was curled up on the floor, half hid under a blanket. Clara, that's enough, Clara. You can't just ignore your problems. I reached over, trying to pull the blanket away, and accidentally discovered something quite remarkable. Oh, my gosh, dude. You're, let's just say, firm. Mike's face turned as red as a tomato. But I didn't care, I had no shame. If he hadn't wrapped that blanket so tightly, I might have been able to sneak a feel of his abs. Clara, outside the door, outside. I think there's someone there. Mike held the blanket tight, trying to change the subject. I heard it too. Who's sneaking around at this hour? Don't go over there just yet. Mike sat up halfway and grabbed my wrist. It's not safe, I'll check it out. I coughed, looking up, going out like that? Not exactly polite, right? Mike pushed me back a whole meter, avoiding eye contact. Stay back, I'm fine. Alright, I shrugged, I'll find you something to defend yourself with. A few minutes later, Mike was decent enough for company, and I pulled a portable saw out of the junk box. Mike took it hesitantly, walked to the door, and called out, hello, was ist los? The only reply was the sound of someone fiddling with the door and gunshots. Gunshots right at the door? Heart pounding, I yanked Mike back to the bedroom, locking the door behind us, and shoved him into the wardrobe. Using my breath in a hushed tone, I said, let's not go out till the cops show up. Mike was tense too but remembered to cover me with long coats. His voice and gaze were firm. I'll protect you, Clara. My heart skipped a beat. I took a moment before sighing out, thank you. Time crawled by until we heard sirens. It felt like a century had passed. The gunfire had long ceased. Mike barely cracked open the wardrobe, peeking out before exhaling relief, turning to me with a grin. It's safe now, Clara. Morning light poured through the window, highlighting his strong, deep-set features. He looked like a knight. I stared, heart racing, speechless for the moment. Mike helped me out of the wardrobe, and even when the police arrived, he kept holding my hand. I overheard one of the cops asking him, is this your girlfriend? You were protecting her. You're brave. Mike blushed instantly. It's every man's duty to protect a lady. The cop gave him a knowing look and turned to me, saying, Miss, your boyfriend is quite something. I came to and smiled back. Of course, I've always had a good eye for men. Mike's face turned even redder, back to a bashful puppy look. Looking at him, I impulsively reached up to rub his cheek, whispering in Chinese, you're just making me like you so much more. After everything, I was tempted to change my flight to that very afternoon. But I had some school processes to finish, so I went to campus with Mike the next morning. On the way, he was too shy to speak much, the red on his ears never fading. I was smiling, but inwardly pondering. Isn't Mike known to be a player? Why does he seem so innocent? We split ways at the school building. Mike looked bright-eyed. Clara, I'm free this afternoon. Can I treat you to dinner? His phrasing caught my ear. A formal dinner. Checking the flight time, I nodded, sure. Mike beamed, waving me goodbye, but after walking a few steps, turned back and gave me a cheeky cheek kiss. Meeting you has been the best thing here, bar none. Even after finishing the paperwork in the principal's office, his words echoed in my mind. No wonder he had a reputation, the guy had skills. Clara, are you free this afternoon? The project teacher asked beside me. I snapped back, huh? The old man sighed. I said we're starting early, heading to the airport this afternoon. I quickly nodded, no problem, I'm on it. As the teacher walked away satisfied, it hit me, leaving early meant missing dinner with Mike. Struggling with the thought, I overheard a girl excitedly say nearby, Mike's throwing a party tonight, and he invited me. Her friend was thrilled for her. I knew he liked you. Haven't you gone out a few times already? I glanced back. The blonde, blue-eyed girl was the cheerleading captain at our school, a real knockout and apparently a good match for Mike. The captain smiled brightly. Yeah, I'm hoping to make things official tonight. I pursed my lips, pulled out my phone, and rescheduled my flight. So the invitation wasn't just for me. He was spreading his net wide. Well, Mike, I'm not gonna be just another fish. At 5 p.m., I boarded the plane. Just before takeoff, I got a message from Mike, a picture of a cute little cake. He said he made it himself and was eagerly, yet anxiously, awaiting tonight, attaching a sticker of a nervous puppy. My heart dropped a bit. He was the crush I'd admired for so long, letting go wasn't easy. After some thought, during the boarding announcement, I sent my last message. Sorry I can't make it to your party tonight. Have a great evening. Yours, Clara. Then, I turned off my phone. No more texts, no calls. Gone for good. I landed a day later, switched back to a local phone and number, and even made sure to give my project teacher a local contact for convenience. A week passed, time flew by, and the project kicked off. Months slipped through. Sometimes I'd think of Mike, but life moves on. He's probably already dating and married to the cheerleading captain, having forgotten all about me. Time flies, and the project is already wrapping up. Since our progress is excellent, my mentor in China invited the entire group to his place for dinner. On the way, Lily, my team member, gossiped with me. I heard the mentor's son is super handsome. Really handsome. He just came back from studying in Europe. I wondered, how handsome can he be? I've met guys like Mike, who look like models. Can he really be more handsome? Turns out, the only thing that can beat a handsome guy is another handsome guy. At the mentor's doorstep, I was stunned staring at the tall, familiar-looking man. He looked at me, with an intense gaze that was quite overwhelming. After a moment, Mike was the first to extend his hand, his smile cryptic. Long time no see, Clara. Oh my God, why is Mike here? Mike, what are you doing at the door? Hurry and let the ladies in. My mentor's son popped his head out from behind the door and laughed as he introduced us. This is my son, Mike. He was studying in Germany. Interestingly, Clara, you were at the same school. I practically blacked out as Lily dragged me in through the door. Would the ladies like something to drink? On the small patio, Mike approached, smiling warmly. This nearly 6'3" guy squatted in front of us, trying to seem non-threatening. Lily was grinning ear to ear. Anything is fine. Are you mixed race? You're so handsome. He nodded. My father is German. No wonder you're so handsome, Lily said, taking the peach juice he handed and passing it to me. I was so embarrassed, realizing that he might know all the things I've said in the past. Wait a minute. Mike took the peach juice from my hand lightly, saying, Clara can't have this, she's allergic to peaches. Lily glanced between us, her tone teasing. Oh, really? I awkwardly held the glass, pretending to sip it. That's not true. Maybe you got the wrong person, little brother. Mike's gaze was unyielding. After a few seconds, he looked down. If you say so. I forced a laugh, then our mentor suggested a toast to celebrate our project's success. I was stuck between putting down or drinking the peach juice. While I was debating, Mike put his hand on my wrist and subtly switched my drink to lemonade, taking the peach juice for himself. I paused, holding my cup post-toast, feeling a little distracted. Clara, isn't that supposed to be your peach juice? Lily, sharp-eyed, noticed the drink color difference immediately and then scanned around, adding, Mike took yours, didn't he? I gave her a glare, don't talk nonsense. Lily snickered, I didn't say anything, but look at Mike's cup, it's got a lipstick mark on it. I instinctively looked over, meeting Mike's eyes directly. He met my gaze for a few seconds and then brought the peach juice to his lips, sipping from the spot with my lipstick mark. I blushed immediately, standing up with the excuse to head to the bathroom. Washing my face, I paused in the hallway. Mike was standing outside in the dimly lit corridor. I could barely see his eyes. I lowered my eyes and moved aside, excuse me. Mike didn't move, his voice gentle, I worked on that little cake for half a month, messed it up many times. That night's was the best. Too bad, you didn't get to eat it. I exhaled, slowly looking up, half smiling, so what if I didn't eat it? I bet the blonde cheerleader got it instead, right? Did she give you a sweet thank you kiss? Mike frowned slightly, what cheerleader? I was annoyed, the blonde cheerleader at our school. Haven't you been on a bunch of dates? Did you forget already? Mike's expression changed, big eyes drooped like a sad puppy. I didn't. Where did you hear that? I've never dated anyone. I thought to myself, your reputation as a player is all over campus, are you seriously playing innocent now? Just then, Lily peeked from the hallway, Clara, there's a handsome guy at the door asking for you. Mike stiffened, his expression turning cold, what? I was baffled, pushing past him to the door, seeing a young guy outside. My body moved before I could think, and I quickly grabbed his arm, you came to pick me up? My poor little brother was startled by my enthusiasm, no, ouch. I pinched his back forcefully, maintaining a calm face, my boyfriend's here. He worries if I'm home late. Mike's expression grew colder, boyfriend? I met his gaze without fear, yeah, boyfriend. Track team captain. Younger and playful, calls me sis, I like him a lot. My brother caved under my pressure, yeah, sis. Sis. Mike glanced between us, his expression clear and icy, Clara, you like that type, huh? Before I could nod, my mentor called out for Mike, son. Your little fan sent you a message again. Why not ask her over? Mike's icy facade broke. I slowly narrowed my eyes, a little fan? So Mike, you like that type, I see. I didn't stay long. I said goodbye to the mentor and left with my brother. On the way back, my brother was on edge, sis, what's happening? I just offered you a ride and now I'm in trouble? I rolled my eyes, just using you as a shield. Is it not obvious? My brother scratched his head, a guy that handsome likes you, and you're not interested? I snorted, what's the point? He's a big player. My brother immediately sided with me, wrapping his arm around my shoulder, take a selfie with me, post it online, make sure he doesn't get any ideas. Hearing that, I hesitated, then snapped and sent a picture. After sending it, I realized I didn't even have Mike on my contacts. Why did I post it? The next day at noon, I was waiting for the school bus as usual at the gate. There was an issue with the lab data, and I was scrutinizing everything for errors when a shadow fell over me. It was Mike. He was wearing a sleeveless top and track pants, a headband on his forehead, looking really college athlete-ish. Fancy seeing you here, I tossed out a casual smile. Oh no. Mike looked at me, slightly out of breath, a bead of sweat on his nose. I came to find you, Clara. I sent you a friend request, why haven't you accepted it? He gazed into my eyes, looking a bit upset. I was taken aback and then realized I did have a friend request notification on my work phone, which I rarely use. It was from Mike. I didn't see it. I casually accepted the request but didn't bother to explain further. Mike watched my movement and suddenly asked, "This WeChat account, it's not the one you usually use, is it?" I stayed silent. Mike took a step closer, his voice trying to hold something back. "Why, Clara? Why did you leave without telling anyone? Why act like you don't know me? Why be so cold?" Suddenly, as if by magic, I understood the questions he didn't ask. "Lily showed me your social media posts." After a few seconds of silence, he looked at me, voice slightly hoarse. "Is that person really your boyfriend?" I suddenly felt annoyed. We've been apart for so long, why pretend to be so attached? "So," I nodded, even showing him silly photos I took with my younger brother. "We've been together a long time and even lived together on weekends now." Mike's face paled as he stared at a picture where I was making a heart gesture at the camera. After a while, he looked down, his voice so quiet it was barely audible. "Sorry, I thought you were lying to me." He lowered his eyes, and I couldn't tell if what dripped onto the floor was sweat or something else. That day was my fault. "I won't bother you anymore, Clara." He rarely addressed me by name so seriously. I paused, but before I could react, Mike had already turned to leave. He didn't get far, maybe only 10 or 15 feet, before suddenly swaying and falling forward. My heart skipped a beat. "Mike. Low blood sugar and a bit of heatstroke. You young folks really know how to take care of yourselves." In the school's medical room, I shrank back, listening to the doctor scold. "Your boyfriend looks tall and mighty, but look at those dark circles. How long hasn't he rested well? You, as his girlfriend, need to keep an eye on him." I opened my mouth. "Thank you, doctor." The voice came from the hospital bed. Mike had woken up at some point, voice hoarse. "She's my senior." I paused for a moment and confirmed, "I'm his senior." With the 4 drip hung up, we were the only ones left in the resting room. Mike touched the cool patch on his forehead and thanked me. "Sorry for causing you trouble." I grumbled back, I wasn't really troubled. "I'm just worried about your reputation, being wheeled into the medical room like that. You might fall from being one of the top heartthrobs on campus. But then again, it might not matter." I shrugged and stood up. "Your fangirls might just adore you even more. If there's nothing else, I'm gonna go." "Clara." Mike suddenly reached out, grabbing my wrist, but let go like he was shocked by electricity, eyes full of urgency and frustration. "It's not what you think, not about fangirls." "Hey, you're 4. My attention was all on his reverse drip. I kept slapping him. "Lie down. You're bleeding." Mike didn't even look. He pulled the needle out, ready to get up. "I'm fine, don't worry. I need to explain everything to you." The 4 was wasted, blood dripping off Mike's hand. Watching, I was horrified. I smacked him on the forehead, pressing him back down, and searched the room for medical tape. "Don't move." Seeing he was restless, I shouted, "If you move again, I'm leaving campus tomorrow." Mike stopped cold like a machine suddenly halted, sitting still by the bed. I quickly grabbed some cotton balls to stop the bleeding. I could feel his shallow breath above me, and a few seconds later, a warm hand brushed past my ear, tucking my stray hair back. I hesitated, instinctively looking up, meeting Mike's eyes. "Clara." His hand stayed by my ear, like he was trying to wrap me in his palm. "Don't go. It took me so long to find you." Mike was quite the name back in Germany. He's 2 years younger than me but took higher-level courses, exceptionally smart, and good-looking. German classmates said he pretty much swapped girlfriends every semester, a real ladies' man. So, I didn't believe he could be dedicated to me for long. If he's dating others while looking for me, let's not even bring that up. I sighed, it sounds really trashy. Mike loosely held my wrist, anxiously explaining, "No, there's no one else. I've always been." My phone buzzed, it was a call from the lab. Annoyed, I didn't want to hear his explanation. I stood up. "Mike, honestly, I never felt you liked me much." Seeing his stunned face, I added brutally, "Maybe because I was different from the others you met." Maybe because you pretended not to know Chinese to tease me. Maybe because I left before you got a chance to be with me, you're obsessed now. I always thought your obsession wasn't love. And I don't want to bear the burden of your obsession. Mike stared at me silently for a long time before finally looking down without saying a word. With a sigh of relief, I left the rest area. I faintly heard something behind me. But I didn't listen carefully. Busy in the lab until evening, Lily and I finally left, looking exhausted. I'm so tired. Once this project is done, I need a break. Lily nodded in agreement and asked, by the way, did Mike find you? I was puzzled. Huh? Lily yawned. He wanted to talk to you at noon after finishing a project. I told him you were at the East Campus. Yeah, he did take the campus bus to find me. Lily waved it off, not any bus. He missed the last one and rode a shared bike there. I froze at her words. Our school's 2 campuses aren't laid out well. There's no straightforward public bus, just school buses and taxis. It's super crowded at noon. To catch me before I hop on a bus, Mike would only choose to bike. Dang, biking over 20 kilometers in 36-37 degrees Celsius heat. Lily sighed, but maybe he doesn't think it's a big deal. Mike is head over heels for you. I felt uneasy. I wanted to check on Mike, but I left my work phone in the lab, and I don't have his local contact on my phone anymore, only his old German one. Forget it. I thought, our advisor mentioned Mike plans to stay in the country, so he probably ditched that old number. After returning to my dorm and taking a shower, I noticed a new message notification. It starts with 490, from Germany. My heart raced as I opened it. There was just one line. Ich mag dich aufrichtig. I like you, sincerely. Tossing and turning all night, I texted a classmate in Germany at dawn. Can you tell me more about Mike? They were probably rushing with a deadline and quickly replied, why the sudden interest? Heard he has a new girlfriend. I frowned. Is it that fangirl of his? Minutes later, they sent a photo. Look, the goddess and her blonde boyfriend. I opened the photo, confused at the joyous-looking guy in the picture. Who's this? The other side was puzzled too. Mike. Who? I quickly typed, stop messing with me. Mike isn't this ugly. They rapidly sent more photos, even a PDF, the full saga of Mike the Playboy. Check it out yourself. Reading through, I shook my head in disbelief. I mistook the wrong Mike. Why are there so many Mikes in Germany? All day I was a bit preoccupied. In the evening, I headed to a group meeting at the teaching building and ran into my advisor. Hey, Professor. I greeted while looking around. Professor smiled, looking for Mike? I felt a bit awkward. No, not really. Over there. They pointed to a nook in the building where a girl was talking to someone, probably him. I squinted a bit, probably that fangirl. As we spoke, Mike emerged from around the corner of the building, holding a fancy cake box. He looked startled, then happy, but a bit flustered seeing me, Clara. I told him, don't rush off after the meeting. I need to talk. His eyes brightened, sure. I glanced at the cake box. What's that? Mike stammered, oh, my mom heard everyone's been busy, so she sent a cake for everyone. After the meeting, Mike handed the cake-cutting duties to my advisor and dragged me out of the classroom. He was like an eager puppy, eyes pleading. Clara, what do you want to say? I took a deep breath, but before I could apologize, my phone went off. It was my younger brother. I had to answer. Sis. Dad passed out suddenly. We're at the city hospital now. I stiffened, I'm coming right away. Mike hurried beside me. Is something wrong? I raised a hand to stop him from following, speaking seriously. I've got urgent family matters, but I'll reach out once things are settled. Mike's expression shifted but ultimately trusted me. Do you need help? I'm used to handling things alone, so I just shook my head and ran off. Mike's voice trailed behind, firm but quivering slightly at the end. I'll wait for you, Clara. Thankfully, Dad's situation wasn't severe. He had a mild stroke but was stable. Outside the hospital room, my brother and I cried our hearts out. It scared the heck out of me. Snot and tears everywhere. When Dad collapsed, I was just stunned. I comforted him, "It's okay. Dad's gonna live a long life." Mom called me today, my brother said. She suggested that Dad should go to her in California since the medical care and recovery might be better there. I had no objection. Once things settled there, Lily suddenly called me, "Clara. You made it to a confession wall. People are roasting you. What's going on?" I quickly checked. 2 pictures, one of me and my brother crying and hugging, another of me and Mike exchanging deep looks in the medical room. Chemistry grad student Clara, what's up with getting cozy with a younger student from another school all while keeping ties with our schoolmate? 2 timing. Gross. I almost laughed. Who the heck cares about my personal life so much? But with Dad's situation being the priority, I ignored it. I didn't expect it to continue. That night, I got a message from an unknown number. No words, just a photo. It showed Mike hugging another girl. "Clara, you're just his senior. Keep your distance." I sent it straight to Mike. It took a while, but he finally replied. I saw it the next day. Just a simple sentence, though it left me in deep thought. "Clara, patient dogs don't get the love." Who says they don't? My dog, whether waiting or not, I love. I knew I needed to talk frankly with Mike. But for days I couldn't reach him by phone, and he wasn't at his dorm either. The advisor said he'd been assigned to a confidential project, no outside communication for a week. Dad was recovering well. We're set to fly him to the US on Monday to meet Mom. At the airport, my brother nudged me, "Is that your so-called player boyfriend?" I hesitated and saw a friend request on his phone, labeled Mike. I quickly called him up. Mike answered, still dazed before asking, "Where are you?" I answered honestly, "The airport." Mike paused, voice filled with mixed emotions. "Are you leaving again?" I realized he'd misunderstood something, and I was about to explain, but Mike suddenly said, "Clara, is our relationship over the moment I stop waiting and stop being proactive?" I froze, and my nose stung for a second. It was a bit noisy on Mike's end. He let out a bitter laugh and said, "Forget it." Forget it? I didn't want to forget it. I grabbed my phone to explain, but all I heard was the busy signal after the call was hung up. In all the time I've known Mike, this was the first time he'd hung up on me. A wave of panic washed over me. I tried calling back several times, but no one answered. I began to feel like something was slipping away, and there was nothing I could do. There was an announcement at the boarding gate. I sent Mike one last message, just one line, "Ich mag dich aufrichtig." I like you, truly. Those words almost became my last. We hit turbulent weather, and amidst the violent shaking, my dad, my brother, and I huddled together, crying. I was crying and messaging Mike at the same time. Stuff like how I really do like him and wasn't playing with him back in Germany. How I mistook him for another player named Mike, which is why I was cold to him, and I'm really sorry about that. How if he stops waiting, that's fine, but I'd still be a good guy 18 years later, and I hope he's cool with the age gap love has got at 18. Then, the storm passed, and the weather cleared. The plane landed safely. The whole plane erupted in cheers and hugs, while I sat there staring at the many heartfelt messages I'd sent, lost in thought. Maybe I should just run away for a couple of years more. Mike didn't give me that chance, though. The next evening, Mike showed up at the hospital entrance. The moment he saw me, he rushed over and pulled me into a hug, breathing heavily, grumbling, "Clara, were you trying to scare me to death?" I was dumbfounded. "How'd you get here?" Mike looked me up and down, sighed in relief, then tapped my forehead. "Why do you think?" My phone died, and when I turned it back on, it was flooded with messages. Half were your tearful voice notes, half were you saying you like me. I mean, All right, all right. I quickly covered his mouth, pleading, no need to spell it out so thoroughly. I do have some dignity. Mike lowered his gaze, looking into my eyes, and gently pushed my hand away, asking softly, it's all true, right? Before I could answer, he added, if it's not, then don't tell me, just pretend I never asked. Saying that, he placed my hand back over his mouth, acting like he'd never said a word. We stared at each other for a few seconds until I couldn't help but chuckle. When Mike saw me laugh, his face relaxed, and he mumbled, I don't care. I'm going to believe you meant it. I'm going to believe you like me. He abruptly stopped talking because I stood on tiptoe and kissed the corner of his mouth, a broad smile blooming as I looked into his stunned eyes. Why all the fuss about truth? I meant every word. I like you. Mike's eyes slowly curved into a happy crescent, filled with spring-like joy. He hugged me tight, half his face buried in my shoulder, his voice soft and hoarse. This time, I've waited, right? I softly hummed in agreement, hugging him back. You're not the little dog that's not favored. You're my favorite little dog. Mike blushed, sorry about the other day, I wasn't in a great mood. That's why I sent something like that. He straightened up and looked at me earnestly, his gaze bright yet sincere. I'll wait for you, no matter what. Waiting for you to arrive, for the reunion, for the moment you say you like me. I gazed back, wrapped in love, and smiled. Yeah, you waited. I took Mike and my little brother out for a meal, clearing up his identity along the way. Afterwards, my brother asked, didn't you say he's a major player? I gave a sheepish grin. It was a misunderstanding, all a misunderstanding. My brother whispered, this guy really cares about you. Right after landing, I saw he sent a ton of messages, all humble and low-key, just to know if you were okay. Hearing that made my heart ache a bit. With Mike and me, it always felt like he was the one trying to get closer to me. After dinner, I walked Mike to his hotel, only to find out it was in a sketchy location, right next to a gang bar, which was really unsafe. Mike reassured me, it's okay, I'm only staying one night. Before he could finish, we heard 2 gunshots not far off, followed by screams and swearing. My heart raced, and I quickly pulled Mike into a nearby restaurant, hiding with a group of white folks in the back kitchen. The atmosphere was tense and silent. I listened intently for any sounds from outside, while Mike suddenly leaned over and kissed my forehead, then shielded me, just like he did a year ago. I was taken aback. What are you doing? Mike smiled faintly, his ears turning red. I've wanted to kiss you ever since. But back then, I had no claim or label, and I was afraid of scaring you. I gazed into his eyes, seeing my own reflection in his hazel eyes. Now you have a claim, a label, I said, holding his hand. You're my boyfriend. You won't scare me. Before long, the cops arrived, and we emerged from the kitchen. One of the white guys gave us a thumbs up. Your kiss was more shocking than those gunshots. Best wishes to you both. Mike, unlike last time where he just blushed, reached out for a handshake. Thanks for the wishes, we will. Staying at that hotel was out of the question, so I took Mike back to my small apartment nearby. Oh, and there's something I need to clear up about that post accusing me of two-timing on that confession wall. I've got to say something about that. I pulled out my phone. I already found the person who posted it, Mike said casually. The confession wall took it down. I was surprised for a moment, then glanced at him. That person wasn't the girl hugging you, was she? One of your fangirls too. Mike wasn't so calm anymore. I'm not her fan, it's just that I happened to meet her when I was learning baking. She always wanted to go out with me, but I refused. I didn't know she came back to the country this year or that she wanted to join my mom's PhD program. That hug was all her, and I pushed her away immediately. He was clearly worried I'd misunderstand and hurried to explain everything. He ended by assuring me, Clara, it was wrong of me to pretend not to know Chinese back then, but I wasn't trying to mess with you. I just thought you were so cute speaking German. I'm not a player. I only like you. I knew he wasn't a player, of course. With that in mind, I reached out for Mike's hand and sincerely apologized. It's my fault too. I labeled you as a jerk without checking the facts and let you carry that burden for so long. I'm sorry. Mike held my hand back, his voice soft. I don't mind taking the blame, as long as it's you in the end. My heart warmed, and I turned to kiss him. In the apartment, there was only one bed, and someone was starting to put on a show again. I can protect you, Clara. Mike stood by my bed with a blanket, pretending he was going to sleep on the floor. I pulled him into bed. Don't pretend. Mike laughed and laid down, resting his head on me as he leaned in to gently kiss the corner of my lips. Feels like a dream. Can you say you like me again, Clara? I closed my eyes, speaking softly. I like you. Mike buried his head in my neck, his voice slightly hoarse. I love you. Hearing this, I couldn't help but look at him, diving into Mike's deep, gentle eyes. He took my hand, entwining our fingers with a smile. Clara, you were right. My love was once far away, yet now it's right before my eyes. I smiled in response, reached up to kiss him, and we drowned in a wave of tender love. Oh my love, once you were far beyond the white clouds, but thank you for staying by my side in the end. Mike's epilogue. The 3 years in Germany were the toughest of my 5 years studying abroad. 3 short papers a week, I was nearly drowning in them. I suppose the teacher sensed our frustration and offered a choice between a 3-minute presentation or a 30,000-word essay. Someone actually chose the presentation. It was a Chinese girl who went up without any expression and sang the Internationale 3 times, leaving our teacher absolutely fuming. I heard others call her Clara. With the school bus drivers on strike, I had to walk back to my apartment. On the way, I saw her again, Clara. She was showing her empty wallet to a homeless person. He sympathetically patted her shoulder and split his bread with her. She paused, then looked around and locked eyes with me. Excuse me, can I borrow 10 euros? She asked, with eagerness in her eyes. We're actually classmates. We chose the same elective, remember? Of course, I remembered. I gave her the 10 euros and learned her name, Clara. Clara gave the money to the homeless man, smiling as she said, "Thank you for sharing your bread with me." The next day, she returned the 10 euros to me. After a pause, she asked in German, "Can we swap contact info?" I knew she thought I was German, and her German accent was really cute. I agreed. We started hanging out. Clara said it was just study sessions before finals. But I still brought her flowers. I pretended not to know any Chinese, only calling her Clara. When she responded, her ears would turn red, which was even cuter. Clara was excellent in her studies, so much so that I was actually a little jealous. I asked her, "That essay should have been easy for you, right? Why did you opt to sing instead?" She was a bit surprised. "You noticed me?" Of course, I noticed. To be honest, I noticed her the first day of school. She wore a pale yellow dress that day. From then on, I decided I loved pale yellow. We started going out more regularly. Clara acted a bit distant, often dodging my attempts to define our relationship. Does she not like me? I cautiously asked. Clara smiled and said in Chinese, "I do like you, but..." She hesitated. I almost prompted her in Chinese, but she continued in German, "You're the cutest guy in the world. Your gaze is like a puppy's, bright and sincere. People say when you find someone cute, it's a sign of falling in love." So, I thought, maybe she felt something for me, too. Who wouldn't love this cute little puppy? I heard it. She said she liked me. Thanks, Mom, for making me learn Chinese since I was young. Even though this love seemed to blossom after a dramatic incident, I didn't think it was just a mere adrenaline rush. I figured it was time to come clean about being biracial and fluent in Chinese. And, of course, to confess my feelings. Finally, all those lessons on baking paid off. I sent Clara a picture of a pale yellow cake, hoping she'd like it. So nervous. Today I'm an anxious little puppy. Clara didn't show up. I waited all night. The cake's frosting had melted into a sticky mess. It looked awful. Clara's gone missing. The teacher said she joined some project team. She might be traveling to multiple countries and won't be staying in Germany. I'm kinda grateful Europe isn't that big. Every weekend or holiday, I ride my bike to different countries trying to find her. If I do get to see her, I honestly have no clue what I'd even say. I don't dare to ask why she didn't show up for dinner. I don't dare to ask why she broke it off with me. I don't even dare to ask about her future plans. I don't dare to ask if she ever liked me at all. Even though, I really do like her. The guy glances at me, then looks away, maybe feeling a bit embarrassed. I want to know who my future love is. My countless texts and calls have vanished into thin air, with no response. Why couldn't you just give me an explanation instead of leaving without a word? Whatever you say, I'd have believed it. I'm a little mad, Clara. Yet I still love the color pale yellow the most. With classes over, I can finally head home. My mom brags that an exceptionally brilliant student is going to start their PhD under her guidance. How brilliant can they be? I've already met some truly outstanding people. When the door opened, I was just frozen there. My heart started racing out of control. My love, once so far away, now right in front of me. This time, I won't just sit and wait around like a puppy. I'll try hard to hold on to you and never let go.